Shout out to Philly, the city that's fucking gritty. Ain't nobody in the city that's really been fucking with me. Got my arms in a knot, career in the dot. Just signed on the line and a nigga won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Got breaking news, and breaking news. So today we are here to react to Learay's interview with what's the name? Leray interview for her new album called Koi, her sophomore album. I think she rushed her first album too much, but we gonna be looking at the interview. I'm actually gonna be reacting to an interview today. So let me see. Interview, Koi, interview, Apple Music, right? Leray, Apple Music, interview. I'm guessing this is with E-Bro. Let me see. Yeah, this one. Hopefully Apple don't block me and they're not some assholes. But I was gonna watch it anyway, so I thought I would just watch it with y'all. Oh look, see, I already had like 5 seconds in before I stopped. See, I thought about y'all. Let me see.
I don't think no one's friends. I think at the end of the day, it is a competition here. Not everybody can be number one. But at the same time, it should be friendly competition. If we all on the same track team and it's time to race and we practicing, I'm dusting you, even though you my right hand. But it's time to race.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leray. Hey. This is our first time meeting. Well, second, because I just saw you at Summer Jam. And I tried to hand you a joint, and then you didn't want my joint because it was a pre-roll.
Yeah, because I was doing pre-rolls.
But then you was...
That's smart though, because you never know. And somebody, you never know with this industry, they might put
some hood shit like, yo, you don't smoke backwoods? Where your Fonto leaves at?
I don't smoke backwoods, but I asked you to smoke loose leaf or Fontos and papers. You like, nah, it take too long. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, anybody got time for that. Plus, I'm old, so it's like my lung might collapse on a Fonto backwoods. You know what I'm saying?
It's natural leaf, they say.
That's what they say. Nah, I smoked blunts for years, man. I'm off that. So, Leray has a new album. It just got released June 23rd. It's called Koi, which is really a birth name. So I wasn't sure, like, when I met you, is this a persona? No, this is you.
Yeah.
This is all you.
Oh, that's her birth name?
When I discovered you for myself, you was already popping in your world. It was a XXL freestyle. Now, before that, I had heard your name before. Everybody was talking about this girl coming out of Jersey, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw XXL freestyle. I didn't believe that freestyle. Like, I was like, nah, she playing around. Like, because you know how y'all are. Y'all get on the internet playing, trolling, all that.
Oh, you
then
talking
I went
about the
back
one
and listened.
everybody was talking
rhyming for a little bit now.
Yeah.
So, walk me through the whole rap trajectory for you, because you also sing on this album. We're going to get into some of that. There's a lot of different samples on this album. You got Skilly Bang on the project. So, you're very diverse in your music taste.
Yeah.
But it started with rap?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I've always loved music. Whether if it was Lil Wayne, No Ceilings, every single one. Of course, when Drake came on, that was major. Like, Drake, I feel like, him singing and rapping and all that stuff. One of my favorite rappers, when I say, like, is Jada Kiss.
Pure bars.
Just pure bars. So even just Fab, French Montana. So those were like, just coming up being from the East Coast, that's who those are the rappers I would look up to. But I also had a voice, and I was also from, I guess, my childhood and being in a diverse world in school. And, when I would watch Twilight, I would go download the whole soundtrack as well. Like, I was really musically inclined. I feel like that's something in my blood for sure.
I'm like that too sometimes.
And with the whole
like if I hear something on the soundtrack and I fuck with it, like, it's a rap. I'm playing it out until I can't stand the song.
So freestyle, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a freestyler. I sit down. I started writing on pen and paper first, of course, and then elevated to my phone and then on laptop, just writing on the notes. But I never if I do freestyling, the most freestyle I'll do is melody passes, where I'm not even thinking about
That's studio talk now. Now you're in studio talk.
Yeah. I do a lot of melody passes. I dropped out early. I was very smart, but I could say that my vocabulary was not the best. And, just metaphors and similes, that's why rap is like very powerful, because it is like a gifted talent. And, my process was just taking my time and actually really having to write it down, look at what I'm doing, and being able to be like, all right, this don't make sense. Might have to stop and define a word. Might have to look up rhyme zone real quick and see, like, yo, learn a new word while you're doing that. So
what is it, rhyme zone? Because that's what I need to. I be over here struggling for a bar. Like, oh my god! Like, once I got my 5 bars in the beginning of the rap, I'm like, bro. Okay.
When I did double XL freestyle, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just fucking go out there and do whatever, because like I know these people not freestyling. Like, I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know, maybe they're writing it before, but I'm gonna just go in there and just have fun.
We got a whole album to get into, 15 records. You got Lola Brooke, and then when you get to the James Brown record, it kind of transitions into like R&B. There's a rock
James
record
Brown
there. Tell me about all of this music and what journey you're taking us on this album.
So this journey, I feel like, even just self-titling it Koi, I want people to understand like everything that is just about me. At home they call me Koi. Koi Leray is my brand. And but my mom, everybody, you or someone that, anybody here in the room, I would want you to call me Koi, because it's like a personal thing. And I don't know, I'm getting in depth. Like I feel like I have to tap every subject. I go through so much, I always write through experience. So whether it's about relationships, love, with Man's World, I get very vulnerable. I feel like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a letter to my dad, but it's more like an open.
Her song Wasted, if y'all didn't hear Wasted, that song is fire, low key. I had to stop listening to it though. It was making me sad. But
journal, and just, instead of social media and things like that, like I really, it's about putting it in the music. So I did that with Man's World, and even with Bitch Girl, like I'm talking my shit. I'm that song right there is one of my favorites. That's like, there's no subliminal or nothing. Like, it's very directed to whoever feels any type of way about, throughout my whole career. And yeah, I'm very, this is what I do want to say about the samples. Shout out David Guetta.
Okay.
It's a blessing, and Johnny Goldstein, to be in the studio with this guy. First of all, a lot of kids don't know that he's one of the first EDM DJs to actually bring EDM and hip hop together.
That's right. I didn't know that.
So that's one.
But
Number two, when we're in the studio for Make My Day, for example, because that's like the next song, and they're talking about, oh, why are you using samples and stuff? Well, we're in the studio, and David is giving me his full time. I got Johnny. They got their laptops open. We got drinks, fresh belly. It's like a party. Saint there. It's a whole party. David Guetta, he believes in me so much. He comes to me, he's like, yo, I got this crazy idea. He goes, I got this crazy idea. Pulls up his phone. He's like, just listen. He's like, just listen. And then it's like, he's showing me, pump up the jam. What's so ironic is this same thing is trending right now on TikTok. Like, the sound, for some reason, it's like it's not even, it's the video of her actually on stage. It's crazy. So I'm like, yo, let's kill it. Like, this is fire. Like, he's like, yo, I know you will crush this. Him putting it in a beat, they add the drums, everything is happening right on the spot. Once it's made, I go in and I just do my melody passes. And then after we, you hear a lot of the words and lyrics and stuff, because I do be saying some shit while I'm doing my melody passes. But yeah, and we come out and we make those songs. I feel like sampling, there's nothing wrong with sampling. For some reason, a lot of people try to use me for like the example out of things. They try to make me an example.
Wait, sampling is bad or something?
No, I don't think sampling's bad at all.
It's not even that it's bad. It's just like a lot of people is not coming up with like quality music anymore, and it's just like everybody is like reusing. Even though I know a lot of people, time always repeats itself. It's kind of like you're reusing the same ish, and we want to see other songs go down to history. And then like people was using samples to get into the game now, and this, that, and the third. Like, samples is really a disguise for like, not saying Koi don't got no talent, because I believe in Koi, but for some people who really don't got talent, like it's just like, okay, this is a beat that we like, oh they doing it, woo 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 woo. That was just like the what type of music does 5 Foreign do? He do y'all know whatever music 5 Foreign do, that music, because I feel like that wave died down some. That music that everybody was doing, you could kind of just say anything on the beat and it'll go, because it got a good beat around it, and you rapping fast as hell or whatever. And it was kind of like a mask for people like to win. And it's like, okay, when all that sad is done, where the music, how you really sound, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just one of those things. But yeah,
So like, I get where people I get where people might say, yo, you're doing too much with the sample. Like, it was good how it was originally, right? That's what they say.
Man, come on. What?
no, what they talking about is the beginning of the sample when she said, "Jump up the like your beat is dumb bum." But then I understand, you know, they said that's how the original sample was, whatever. It just,
Man, what they saying this?
you don't have to go through, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go through, you don't have to make everything the same as the sample was, but yeah.
That,
They're
man.
saying that like all over the internet recently.
Fuck
Like,
the internet, bro.
yeah, like it was
You
like
know
a
shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel
This
the
is
same
part
way.
of the original culture. That's like the whole shit.
I think so too. I would hope so. Like I don't, but I feel like the young generation needs to be taught that. So that's why I say I don't mind being an example. I don't mind having them records and really having amazing records, tapping in with history, like even just with Busta Rhymes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Busta Rhymes is a legend. They don't even understand. Hip hop won't even be where it is without Busta Rhymes and what he contributed to it. So me, you know, in my generation, having this players, having Busta support, being able to, because you know it's weird as hell. You'll have like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 16-year-olds. It's not weird, but they're like, you know, I don't know Busta,
Yeah, they don't.
right? But it's fine because you know
Their
Coi
parents
Leray.
have your parents have failed you. It happens though.
It happens,
All the
but it's
time.
fine because they know Coi Leray, and guess what?
That's
Coi
right.
Leray's the type to, I
I'll
don't care.
teach y'all.
I'm a teacher, and I'll push that button.
What part of Jersey you from?
I'm from Bergen County.
Bergen County. No
Yeah.
particular town you want to shout
I
out?
wouldn't say, yeah, shout out Hackensack, but like shout out Passaic County, Essex
all right,
County,
yeah.
Hudson County.
Hell, not Jersey. No, I don't think the parents failed them. I think we just in different times, and times change. Like eventually, one day, probably, well, I might be able to see it maybe when I'm like 70 or something. One day, all of the artists that I grew up listening to will be gone. Like, they will be gone.
Yeah, you know, everything. I feel like my brand. And, but my mom, everybody, you, or any of
Oh, I just
someone that, you know, anybody
rewinded
here
it.
in the room, I would want the rap beefs for the guys. You know, I don't even think they should do it. That shout out Lil Jerk for Jersey. I never stood still. I was out early at a young age. It's weird as hell. You'll have like 10-year-olds. Raise the type to, I don't care.
teacher.
I'm a teacher, and I'll push that button.
What part of Jersey you from?
I'm from Bergen County.
Bergen County. No
Yeah.
particular town you want to shout
I
out?
wouldn't say, yeah, shout out Hackensack, but like shout out Passaic County, Essex
all right,
County,
yeah.
Hudson County, you know, everything. I feel like I was all over Jersey. I never stood still. I was out early at a young age.
You was outside.
Running the streets, yeah.
You was fake IDing it up out here?
Yeah, for sure.
But you look like, so now let's get into, we gotta get into your appearance too, because that's a whole conversation and people, I'm sure you've, you know, I've seen writings about, but I didn't even know it was a thing
Yeah.
until this whole little, what was it, the Lotto line, and then y'all cleaned it up and apologized. But I didn't know, because I had heard dudes bigging you up for your body,
Yeah, always.
right? So dudes was on it. So I didn't know that was a sensitive conversation for you.
It's not a sensitive conversation. It wasn't, I feel like it wasn't more about the body. It was more of like mentioning my name. I feel like at the time of how everything went and just, you know, I'm about positivity. You know what I mean?
And you
Like,
weren't
for
sure where
real.
it was coming from.
And I wasn't sure where it was coming from. And not only that, I feel like the problem with, you know, our community today is like,
But I do think you should have called her and handled it more professionally, or you should have got her number behind the scenes.
we be so quick to like trying to change things, but we don't do nothing to actually change anything. You feel me? So, you know, if
What is that even supposed to mean?
If we're gonna say we're gonna stop talking about bodies, then don't mention anything about my body. Just period. Don't compare me to nothing. Don't think about nothing. Don't.
But when was that? I understand the whole body shaming thing and this and that and the third, but when did like everybody as a collective come together and agree? Like, I don't know. It's just some people don't like. I don't know, Coy. I really don't know.
You know, we're not smoking on anything. Like, that's not, it's disrespect. And, you know, where I come from, I just don't like that. You know what I mean? And as a human.
Oh, yeah, she did say, blunt something big as Coy Leray. Blunt so small, big as Coy Leray. I can see that. So it's kind of like a smoking. I can see how she, I feel like you really had to think, like, yes and no. Like, I feel like you really had to think about that bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, smoking something big as Coy Leray.
Being, as a person, I have every right to say what I feel.
You do.
You know, but as I learned, not every action needs a reaction. Sometimes no reaction is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope my advice to the girls out there, just moving forward, find a better way to, I don't know, it's starting to get old. Like, the rap beefs for the guys. You know, I don't even think they should do it. Shout out Lil Durk and J. Cole for that new song. And All My Life, I think the message behind it is amazing. The video is amazing. J. Cole went crazy on it.
It's a positive record.
It's a positive record, and those times don't get enough recognition. So if us artists, we kind of control the narrative. So if we kind of just spend more time pushing that narrative, we won't give these headlines and these blogs no reason to go ahead and push this negative narrative.
But y'all also influence the urban community too, that's out here looking at y'all and mimicking y'all, because you know some people don't have like a strong enough mindset or whatever. But yeah,
that's something we got to come together on.
I love that. I think it's
So
a great message. I mean, look, the other side of it is, you know, everybody ain't got to be friends, but we can all be positive.
1000%. Nobody's friends. We don't know each other in real life. You feel me? If we meet in person and we join we have a genuine relationship from there organically, then whatever. You know, but I don't think no one's friends. I think at the end of the day, it is a competition here. Not everybody can be number one. But at the same time, it should be friendly competition. If we all on the same track team and it's time to race and we practicing, I'm dusting you, even though you my right hand. But it's time to race. We have practice. But respectfully, you know, that's how I look at it.
So when you was outside, you said I'm outside early. What we talking about? 15, 16?
Yeah, like 13 I was out.
And you was where? What was you doing?
So like early, when my mom and dad split, when I was like 9 years old, my mom had moved to the Hackensack, and you know, she needed to, I would say she wasn't really fully adjusted to the lifestyle. Nobody was. It was every man for themselves at this point from where we came from. So, you know, my mom started working late in the bar, and she would do 3 to like 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. My older brothers, I'm the only girl. My older brothers was out in the streets doing what they needed to do. Every man for themselves. And me, my mom trusted me so much I could do whatever. And it was at a point where my mom couldn't give me what I want. She couldn't give us none of us what we wanted financially. So I felt like she was able to give us what we want by the freedom and just trusting us and letting us kind of figure it out. So yeah, at 13, you know, I lost my virginity very young, between 13 and 14. I started selling drugs. I dropped out of high school, 16, and finished 9th grade.
She never finished high school? That's crazy. 9th grade. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Oof. I'm not gonna lie, this interview kind of making me tired. I feel like it's a lot of like rough energy, and I just literally got out the shower. But I feel like when people like with high school, I feel like you gotta at least try after 9th grade. Like, at least try after 9th grade. I'm not judging her because I know how high school is rough. Because I got to my 12th grade year, a little sidebar, I got to my 12th grade year, I had a job, I was leaving school, going straight to work, I had a room, it wasn't an apartment, but it was a room, I was paying money for that, like, You know what I'm saying? And, all them things going on. I didn't have money for cap and gown, woo woo. It got to a point in 12th grade. I told my friend, like, listen, I'm finna come back and do this next year. And my friend was like, no, you gonna fucking do the rest of this shit this year. And literally, like, my friend would, like, call the school and, like, see if I was there. Because he graduated from the same school. So it's one of them, like, I totally get what she's saying, but I just feel like y'all got to try way more than 9th grade. And my 9th grade year was trash. Like, it was one of the worst. Like, 9th, 10th grade was one of the worst. But I don't know, that just surprised me. I didn't know that.
No, I always worked. I worked in sales, and I had my own apartments, and I'm so smart. I feel like I was born a genius. I swear. I feel like if they test my IQ, it's something high. But, yeah, and I've always just been on my own. I feel like that's what made me who I am today.
Now, do you feel like, I mean, what you just shared with us, I appreciate you, first of all, for sharing that. It also sounds, too, like there's still some apprehension in that story. There's some stuff in there that you probably haven't got a chance to write and record and get out. Because I hear it on Man's World a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's you starting to get into it, but is that, and it might be too soon, but have you figured that Coi Leray out yet? That vulnerable, transparent, yet musical, like, do you feel like you found that balance?
I did. I feel like Man's World helped me find that balance for sure, because I was always too afraid. You don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. That was all.
It's a lot of energy, though. You see how it still is. She like it's tense. It's tense for her to still. She says she unpacked it, but she really hasn't like fully unpacked it. Let me see.
Say what I want to say, what I want to feel, but I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want this to be a bad business move and let my emotions get in the way. Regardless if it was a song or not. But I'm 26 now. As I get older.
Oh, she's 26.
And you learn to forgive.
Not
and
me being older than
you
her.
have a lot of great people around you. Like I'm surrounded by older people too. I've always been the youngest in my camp since a kid. So, they just guide you and teach you and are able to give you the advice. And now I could just talk about it and tell my truth, without hurting anybody. I feel like I've mastered it. I mastered of telling my truth without hurting anybody and being able to just still be very positive while doing it. Yeah, it's not easy, but first step is forgiving. And, I had to forgive my father, regardless of what we've been through. I haven't told my story. A lot of people don't really know me for who I am. There's so much narratives online, what these people make out to be. They don't know what I've been through, and I'm fine with that because they will know my story. And
you'll share more.
I'll share more, and luckily, like, I'm so grateful to even be here, like sitting next to you. You're fucking, like, come on, this is big, and
thank you.
I wouldn't want it no other way, and it's perfect timing. That's how I look at it. Because if this probably would have happened a couple years ago, it wouldn't happen the way it is now and the way it's happening now. And I say that within myself. I've grown to a young woman. And I watched the interview of Rihanna and Oprah one day, and Rihanna just said that when she forgave her father, like, her whole life changed. Like, everything just, the dark flowers just grow.
It's so funny.
So I took that.
It's so funny because that's true. Like, that's true. Like, it's like, oof, that's a lot. That's a lot for me. Cause, listen, like, sometimes, like, even when you forgive people, sometimes forgiving people don't mean you welcome them back into your life. Sometimes forgiving people mean, I forgive you, you did what you did, but I gotta let all y'all go. And, like, I'm kind of in that space in my life right now. Like, it's just, I'm not,
Advice.
It's too soon.
And also, too, being on the other side, being here now in the industry, because there's still so much I don't know about, the Source magazine and that era and that time, but I do know that it is hard. it's hard to keep up. It's hard to make sure you're calling the fam and making sure everybody's good and everybody's depending on you. And, you still got to get up and you're tired and you're asleep and you're dealing with anxiety and all kinds of different emotions, relationships. So I get it now. That's another reason why it's easy for me to be like, yo, I love you. Like, I forgive you. And hopefully he loves the song. He hasn't heard it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. I wanted to just mention something about, because I'm a dad. And
hopefully he don't get online acting a fucking fool.
I fortunately had a dad who was like, as there as much as he could be there. You know what I mean? And which wasn't actually physically present, but he was trying. You know what I mean? And I think that one of the tough things and I know obviously just knowing my boys and other men who are dealing with whatever they're dealing with.
Father issues.
For the dads, it's always easy to show up when things are good. Right? When you got the bills paid and you got gifts to give and fun times to bring, it's always easy to walk into the house. Right? And most dudes, we come from places where, like, that's what the man is supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be bringing it home, and there's not a lot of emphasis placed on presence.
My shit wasn't really like that. Like, he was there, he picked us up sometimes, but as far as, like, I will give my mother some grace. Like, as far as, like, putting shit on the table and woo, like, I remember her working like 2-3 jobs and shit. Like, I'm not saying he was a deadbeat. Like, sometimes I feel like you can be there but not be there, and I think that's what Ebro was like hitting at, and that's where I kind of like grew up, and like he was there but he was not there. So yeah, let me see
that a man could, or the energy that a man could bring into a home. So when a lot of dudes, where they fuck up is they get embarrassed for what they don't have, and then they stop showing up.
Right.
And they don't have, and the world doesn't really teach men that, like, you don't have nothing to be ashamed of. Like, there's good times, there's bad times. Your family's gonna love you regardless.
And to touch on that, like, yeah, I agree 100%. And not just with fathers as well. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers coming up. Well, Happy Father's Day just passed. But no, I feel like even just the world in general, I feel like the older generation has to learn how to let go and let God. For real. That'd be the only thing that disconnects us between the new generation and the ones that, like, for example, my father. I feel like my father, I love him. He's a hustler. He's a go-getter, right? Always smell good. Cleanest guy in the world. Sharpest, flyest. Something I took from him when counselor said, always a hustler. But, I don't know a lot about the source. I was so young when it was gone. I was 9 when they separated and it was gone. But I do know, like, now, how I just wish that my father would understand that he did something great and just leave it there.
Right.
I don't think that, I don't think he owes anybody anything. I think nobody owes him anything. I just think that what he done is something that is great. And the ones that appreciate that, and the ones that, it's like, if you know, you know. You feel me? If you are a hip hop, you were there.
Source
then
magazine missed something.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I remember seeing like a gold mic and a silver mic. Like, that's all I know. And then like probably one clip with like Snoop Dogg on stage.
But what she's saying is he probably like is hard on himself because like maybe he's not exactly in the times now, and maybe he feel like he messed up or etc. But we all had some bad deals. Like, I did reality TV at one point. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some things work, some things don't. Like, it's just you gotta move on and rebuild your brain and do what you do. But if you harp on something, you get what I'm saying? It's you never really want to be able to fully move on. And I think that's what she's saying to Benzino. Like, you can't harp on it. Like, the people who's gonna recognize you for who you are, they're gonna recognize you for who you are. The people that don't, that's their loss. And some people aren't educated. So,
I think resurfaced one time when I got older. I seen, but I don't know nothing about that magazine. Nothing about those times. Nobody sat. Me and my daddy had that relationship. He was always so busy and on the road. He never sat down and told me like how. You know what I mean? Things were, or whatever. What he was going through, how he was feeling, I had no clue. He was Mr. cut you off real quick, break it. Y'all don't even know how it was gone.
But I think you did a great job on this album.
Thank you.
You and Lola Brooke, No Angels.
I love that song.
Tell me why.
Oh my God.
I gotta listen to that.
Shout out London on the track. Pulled up on London and man just bodied it. I had that verse written already in my laptop. It's crazy. I wrote in it without a beat. It was the only song I ever did that to. I was in my house, bored as hell, just did it. And but I pulled up on London and I want to kind of get through the session. So it's my first time working with people. So sometimes I get this little thing where I don't, my process there's no time on my process. It might take 2 hours, it might take 3, it could take 30 minutes, it might take 6. But me, some people they like make you feel uncomfortable and try to make it seem like, like
yeah, hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up. So I always had that thing where I walked in and working with someone new. So I just came and I'm like, yo, I'm about to do this first. Because when he played this beat, I'm rapping it in my head and I'm like, yo, this shit fits perfect. When Lola hopped on it, oh my God, you don't understand. Like I'm obsessed with Lola. I really am. Her
she gives
energy,
a fuck too.
She does. And that's why, I'm not worried about her at all. I think she's going to be super big. I think she's also one of the ones, for real. And even just her getting into that element, it's not about getting into the element. It's about actually if you can do it. Like, it's different if you just step into something and you learn this something and you trying to hit a knot. Like, that's in her. Like, whether if she got choreo from Tiana or not, the girl can dance.
Right.
So Tiana bringing that out of her, I just think that's so fucking amazing because I don't know. I love her. I can't wait to do more songs with her. I can't wait to shoot the video to this. I hope I see her before I leave New York. And
it's not a video.
I can't wait to just see her journey.
Coy Leray, ladies and gentlemen, the new project. Coy is gonna.
I'm about to say, why Ebro looked like he got on a chef shirt?
Pleasure.
I thought he had on a chef shirt for a minute. Let me see. Lola Brooke, Tiana Taylor performance. What? It's the Tiana Taylor X the Aunties to creative direct her Summer Jam performance. Alright, we gonna listen to the 3 minutes it is. That video kinda stressed me. I'm not gonna lie, that interview kinda stressed me the fuck out. Dead ass. Like, that's why it's like, I always tell people, like, it's not just in person, like, what you watch online, you gotta be careful with too. Not saying there was nothing bad about it, you just, what I'm saying? You just gotta be careful about what you watch online too. Let me see.
Experience. Okay, here we are looking at the rehearsals. Tiana and of course Miss Coco are getting the girls together because as a frequent concert goer, we're not going to name names, but a lot of the people do not have the stage presence to even match their songs. Even when their songs are super duper hyped, they're up there turned down. So I am happy that Lola is getting this treatment. It's just a little polish. She's already got a lot of talent, a lot of energy, but polish goes a long way. A little 1-2 step will take your ticket from $25 to $125. You feel me? So I like this. And you see Lola is really giving it. Yeah, like she's not no slouch. She's a tiny little something. But she is giving us all the along. We got Coco judging in the front, getting her Leray and Gibson on with the boom cat. We got Tiana too. And I understand the rough and gruffness. Once you spent a day or two in the city, you have attitude too. So we need the attitude on Lola.
I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen the Summer Jam clip before. And then she doing these certain dances. I gotta see. I might have to turn it down, y'all. I might have to turn it down. No, I was about to say, why is Dropbox open? I might have to turn it down. Oh. Lola Brooks. Where's the Summer Jam? Performance. I just want to see what Coy was talking about, that's all. Oh, this 10 minutes, I just want to see her, like, Oh, okay. Let me go back. Okay. Okay. I didn't see that. Oh, she brought that girl out that was complaining and bitching. How long ago was this? 2 weeks ago. That's good. She brought her out. She was complaining and bitching too much for me. Alright, y'all. This is it. I'm Quincy Harris. This is your breaking news with Quincy Harris, and I'll see you guys next time.
I still got the rap game in a choke. Shout out to Canada, those are my blokes. Shout out to Canada, those are my blokes.